You're the one. You heard. You're. I'm Joey Sparks. That's two E's know why you heard me. Two E's know why I joined the family by following that Discord link in the description. Also, if you want to support the channel and gain access to the unreleased videos as well as the live stream perks, the options available, you don't have to, but we appreciate your support nonetheless. And in this video, we are going to be reviewing Squid Game Season 2. So I need to warn you off the jump. There are going to be spoilers in this video. So if you have not seen Squid Game Season 2 in its entirety, I suggest clicking off this video, saving it for later, and coming back after you have, as I'm going to discuss my thoughts on the second season of this cultural phenomenon. We all fell in love with the Squid Games when it first came up in the, during COVID quarantine. Netflix released season 1 and no one was doing anything, and so everyone got to watch it all at once. Some of those items that happened in that moment had that unique effect about them just because no one had a chance to do anything else, so everybody was able to check something out right away. And in this case, this to me was one of the most original ideas I had ever seen. Not the idea that the rich pitting people against each other for sport, with lives in the wing, but the way the childhood games would set up the sorority bunk bed system, just blew my mind. And then when you create some of those decisions between those characters that have you've grown to love, amazing. So when that first season ended, and we saw Sang-gyun, his character, stop and turn around from the plane and go back, you just was like, yo, there's gonna be a season 2. And not to mention off the success, is you'd almost want to force yourself to write a season 2, just to, if you're part of the people who own this intellectual property, you want to try and make a season 2 so you can get paid more again, right? Since it's such a hit, people are going to want to check it out. And so then I would assume became the writing process, as in they didn't have much more of a story to go. And so when they were like, yo, they're going to eventually write a season 2 and it'll show up and stuff like that, I was just like, I always knew from the jump, you're never going to be able to duplicate what you did with the first one. There's just no way. The people were all new. The characters were all brand new. The idea and the storyline is all brand new. Watching someone die after playing a kiddie game in a season 2 of this, we're already immune to that idea. Whereas the first time when someone got shot during red light, green light, we went, I just couldn't believe it. And then, the ruthlessness of getting shot and the games to come, or how the people would die, is just phenomenal. And that just, to me, it's not phenomenal. Death is not phenomenal. I want to stress that. Death is not phenomenal, but in the sense of this story arc, I thought it was phenomenal. Okay. Yeah, man. And so when they decided they're going to do season 2, I just wanted to warn everybody right off jump. It's not going to beat season 1 like that. All you can hope is that they don't screw the story up too much, but keep it interesting enough for us to want to tune back in, right? And so I thought the precipice for the way they brought back season 2 was really, really well done. And I'll tell you why. If you're, obviously you're watching this because you saw season 2. I love how they decided that Sang-gyun is still looking for these people, and he's not even touched the smallest chunk of the money that he had in searching for this place. Also finding out that the brother that was shot, the detective who went in the water, he was found. And so those two together have been trying to find this place to put a stop to it so people aren't getting roped and coerced into this. And so I thought that was a unique way to still be after the game. So if there's more games going on, we're not brought under the pretense of going, you should be worried about these people. That would come later in the season, right? And so when they finally found the Dachi recruiter and figured out that they were just gonna re-enter and put a tracker in his tooth and be able to get there, I was like, okay, that's cool, because pretty soon he's got people coming from him. I've seen that trope played out in like almost like a prison show of some sort before. What was it? There was some prison show or movie or something where some person went in and then you find out the person who's supposed to be getting you out isn't going to be getting you out, and so you got to stay in prison longer than you thought you did and survive that scary scenario. That's kind of what happened to Song Gi-yoon in this, when they took his tracker out of his tooth and sent them people on a wild goose chase. We'll find out later that there was no wild goose chase, and that he had to. It was all known from the jump. They even had the boat operator in on it. We'll find out later. And so, yeah, nonetheless, when he gets there and he realizes that he's going to be stuck there without nobody trying to get him, that's when it started getting good. And so, obviously, he does the, hey, everybody, I got to try and help get you safe through this with the red light, green light. And he does a great job. When everyone's asking him what's game 2, and he's talking about the honeycomb game where you lick it with the needle and you try not to break it. Shout out to his dream version of the triangle. That would have been impossible. There would have been no way. I was like, oh, that whole line dead. When I saw that design, I was like, the whole line is about to be dead in his little dream that he had about it. But no, when we really wake up and we go to the second game, they they switched the games on him. It was different games, right? And so you're like, oh shit, this is not so was it the 6-legged man game or something like that? Oh my gosh, they tie 5 people together, teams of 5, and then each one of them's got to do like something different at each an individual spot. Let me take some of the characters on this one. Oh my god, when I tell you the characters that they made in this one, there was so much. I didn't think at first. You got to understand the Korean drama way of making things either like sad or heartfelt or like really draw you in is going to be different than from the way that we digest it. But I feel like they do a great job of it because you got semi invested into each individual's scenario. And so as Song Gi-yoon is trying to coach these people through these new games that he has nothing to do with, you're getting to learn all these different personalities, and I think that was really, really well done, as far as divulging, the different scenarios for the mother and son version, the rapper Thanos, his version of his character. How about the pregnant girl and her boyfriend, who was the meme coin invader? Here, hold on, let me do that. Boom. Okay, here. So, yeah, was she the pregnant one right here? Kang Sabayak, or was she the one shooting people? Yeah, I think she was the one who comes back. Yeah, and then they got a character who comes back as as one of infiltrates as one of the shape people, the triangle people. And then yeah, the pregnant girl and her boyfriend. I think they're right here. Right here, that's who that is. Jo Yuri. Jo Yuri Kim Jun Hee is her real name, I'm assuming. Oh no. In the film, her name is Kim Jun Hee. I think she was pregnant by Hyun Ju. Great story arc on that, because at the end when she started helping him, when his baby mama was looking out for him, you might want to wipe your face off. That girl was fire in that. And then Lee, or the front man, that's another aspect that they added to this season. They added the key, masked man who shot his brother over the edge. He decided to enter once again as number 1, just like how the game owner was number 1 in last season. Now you got the bad guy in this season. So I thought it created a nice dynamic because he wanted to win some of these games just as much as Sang Gi-yoon and all of our, new characters. As much as they wanted them to win, they wanted he wanted to win too because he knew he would die, or else he would have to blow his cover and be like, "Do not shoot, I'm your boss." Da 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 da. I was like, I don't know. I guess that's how he would have stopped it. So it was crazy, bro. Adding them into it just made it that much more. I don't know. Like I'm that much more invested, bro. Like I'm just that much more invested. I thought it was dope. Even the old people and stuff like that too that they added in. The older Marine, his best friend character, I thought that was super well done. To kind of once again humanize this robot of a machine savior type that Song Yoon had. Um, what do you call it? Transformed into. Sorry about that. So yeah, grounded because yeah, Sangyoon was turning into that, like that ruthless person who just wanted to save all the people, and so he was turning off like the emotions that made him who he was. And then it was funny because then when you found out that the older military guy, which was his best friend, which his name was, oh, was it Jackson Doon? Was it him? Was it him? Was it her? Was it them? It wasn't him. He was the boat operator. Where's the guy that was his best friend in season 2? Was it Christian Knight Players 276? No, no, no. They would have said his name. But I can't seem to find him here. Which one was he? I couldn't tell you. Damn. That's messed up. Jang Dok-soo is who I think it is. Um, yeah, I think it's him right here. Jang Dok-soo. I think that was his best friend. You have to excuse me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I think he's in my opinion like the key character to making this season have its difference, just like that grounded piece that he knew who Sang Yoon was before all this and could pull out that authenticness within him. In my opinion, that was like that and the fact that the front man was playing with them was amazing. That's what really set the season apart. Now, obviously, if you watch the season, you know it ends in a almost like too big of a cliffhanger. There's too many unsolved things that happen towards the end that you're like, no, this can't be the end. Now, from what I'm aware of, they've already shot season 3. They shot it right together. So they just, in my mind, just picked a spot where it'd be the most, and they're going to hold off, and then they'll give us season 3 here not too long ago. My advice to Squid Games is to not wait too long on season 3 releasing, just because there's going to be people who are not going to take into account that the first season was too hard to replicate that same feeling. So you're already fighting an uphill battle for people to be like, oh, it wasn't as good as the first season. You know what I mean? You don't want that possible narrative to sit there too long. So finishing it up, the longer you wait, the more you leave chance for people to go. And 3 wasn't even that good of a payoff for the continued story after season 1 for it to be held out this long. You just don't want to do that. In my opinion, you don't want to. So I'm thinking, sometime 2025 they got to be releasing it. Like the end of the year would almost be too long, in my opinion. I would say you'd want to hit them in summer, just to finish that story and keep the marketing dollars behind it. Because what if people wasn't feeling the scenario of this second season? And but you got something in the third season that'll make them go, oh yeah, it was totally worth it. You don't want them to be chopping down season 2 and then hit them with season 3, they not show up, and then you have to wait for other people to go, no, go back and revisit it. I don't know, that's how I feel. um but yeah, man, the infiltrating the head office, taking over the people with the guns on the night that the people were killing each other. Oh my God. So the night when the nights is light out, that's the night that you let some people die. So they bring in the people with the pink suit people and then you ambush them, showing you all along there's enough of you guys that if you want to leave, you can leave. That was another thing about the season 2 was the fact that they had to vote between each and every game. Whereas last season they was just one time vote. Okay, everybody voted, y'all all playing. But this was like they gave them a chance every game moving out. It almost kind of gave you some more suspense left in there, being that you're so already used to how things run from season one. This kind of added another suspenseful position in it, and not to mention the extra games. That six-legged man game race, Dachi, what is it? Throw the stone, the little look like little Lego pieces or whatever, flipping with the hand. All five of them, that was crazy. The spinning top was nuts. Hacky sack was kind of like okay, whatever. Those all threw a monkey wrench and everything, bro. Like they're just trying to mess everything up with that, and then like playing later in the blood that was all over the rainbow track, hilarious. Then my favorite of the season, obviously Carousel. To me, that was just the most ruthless out of all of them type of game. It just was more. It was more of that, like we all friends, but in the heat of the moment, my life's on it. You might not be my friend, and I may do some things I'm not very good. It left a weird scenario between the mother and son. Sang-yoon's best friend, Jang Doksu, I think is his name. Him and the front man and their little snafu where the front man snapped that dude's neck, which showed me. I was like, oh my god, he ruthless as fuck. He said, I'll just kill this dude. And he was trying to be nice and like make that one guy survive. Like he was in it. That was so unique about that, which kind of made you like that guy. Even when the first one, he was like, y'all go, I'll go find someone else. Y'all go as a group. Also, then realizing if it's the last one, that it was going to be under a certain amount. So it was going to be groups of two. Like knowing that ahead of time was dope. Um, the one girl transitioning, when that one guy jumped in there and he had to really break down the logic to her because her best friend died outside the window and shit like that. Her best friend in the place died outside the window. And he was just like, I saved y'all. They would have looked in here and found out there wouldn't have been enough, or you would have never made it to get her to get back. And then everybody agreeing with him was like, yeah, unfortunately, he was right. You would have never been able to get her and get her back. I could have tried. That's too much. It's too much risk in the air. I just thought it was crazy. And then that song, to me, is gonna be like that eerie song, like the first season had an eerie song. Now that season during Carousel is gonna be eerie to people. I don't know. I thought they gave enough stuff to talk about in this new series that season one's gonna be here, right? Season two will be a flop here, and then like in my mind, halfway between where it would flop at and to where it would match up to season one, I think it falls right underneath season one somewhere where you're like, okay, like if you realize they can't duplicate that lightning in a bottle, then you'll probably go, okay, I fuck with season two. And that's how I looked at it. I was like, yo, it's not gonna be able to be that. So on its own, how is it? And it was decent, man. Like that's what I said. It's like the writing wasn't too crazy. Interesting ways to make it still fresh for us to still want to sit here and revolve around this, murderous kid game island, if you will. But now, will it pay off in the third season? That's gonna be tough. All I know is Sang-yoon does no longer has his best friend. Are they going to shove him back in the game? Are they going to round everybody up and kill everybody who was part of the mutiny? Are they going to make him play the next game with a little disadvantage? I mean, what's going to happen? You should let me know if you've seen it in the comments. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And the only way man, I don't know how I feel because it ended so incomplete that I was like, does this take away from how I enjoyed the season as a whole? And it wasn't until I talked to my best buddy that we talked for, 20 minutes longer than we intended to talk about it. And I was like, yo, if it creates that much stuff where we get to talk about it like that and all the stuff was primarily positive and like hardly any of it was like, oh, I didn't like how they did this and this and this. There might have been one or two aspects where we said something like that, but when you consider probably 8 to 10 other aspects that were like, yo, super dope, I gotta consider it. I gotta consider it a good series. So You know, if I had to grade it, let's say the first season was 100%, somewhere between 80 and 90, I couldn't be mad at that. Like that's how I feel about it. If you're giving it between 70, 80, I wouldn't be mad, but if you're closer to 70, I feel like you're hating. You're not allowing Korean drama to run its course the way it does. You're like, oh, it's cheesy musical, but that's kind of how they set that shit up. So just focus on the words and maybe not, how they film or something like that. And then, or if you're not taking away the fact that, yeah, the first time you're understanding the Squid Games, it's going to be new to you. You're never going to have that same newness to it. Now, did they do a good job on keeping you interested within there? And I think they did above 80% of a job. I 90 to 100's tough. I don't know if I could do that because there are some things that I would dock. Sometimes the music does get a little cheesy when they're doing the monologues about someone's sad past. You just like, yo, that's kind of weird. You know what I mean? And also, did they end it too abruptly? You might want to dock a little bit from that. So that's why, to me, I can't go 90 to 100, but I can do 80 to 90. And to me, I think that's just keeping it real. You let me know if you think it's keeping it real in the comments. I try to just keep it real as possible while I'm going over their the cast here for it because oh my god, it was so well done. Thanos was a punk. Oh man, so glad he died. In his homeboy too, his little right hand in command guy. I didn't like that guy at all. Oh man, this was such a good one, bro. This is a good one, man. This is a really, really, really good. And then, like I said, with the boat guy being in on it. Oh man. Anyway, you let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Did it measure up to season one, or like, are you like me giving it a pass? Like, of course it couldn't. What were some of your favorite aspects of it? Some of your new characters, some of the story arcs for your character development there. Um, and yeah, whether you're interested in season three or you think they screwed it up so much you're not going to waste your time. Let me know in the comments. Also, subscribe to the channel, like the video on your way out, do something nice for somebody, and I'll catch you on the next review, reaction, whatever video it may be. I'll holla. Peace.